Welcome back to Naptime Sports Talk Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to our latest episode. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to Naptime Sports Talk Podcast. On today's episode, we're just going to go back to kind of review the end of the season, and then we're going to be going into my top running backs for the NFL draft. I'll do my top 6, and then after that, we'll do a Minnesota Vikings draft related sim. So welcome back, DC. Big D, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How about you? I know it's been a while. It's been sick and just been a little busy, but I'm glad to be back and ready to rock and roll on this thing.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to have you back on here. The last couple of episodes I've done by myself, which is not easy to do. You feel like you're just talking to a screen the whole time. So it's nice to have you on here, have a conversation.
Yeah, it just, like I said, I've been sick and everything, but I'm all better and let's do this thing.
Yeah, and you have some exciting news since you've last been on too. If you'd like to share that.
I don't think I've been on since Christmas, I believe.
Yeah, before I was like December, early December maybe.
Yeah. I am getting married August
Yay,
1st.
Congratulations, brother.
I'm getting married August 1st, and I'm super excited for a new chapter with my fiance, and Riley is going to be one of my groomsmen, and I'm very excited for that. And found out Friday that my fiance bought the house from her parents, so technically I am a homeowner, but it's under her name. So that's exciting news for us. So I'm very excited about that.
Well, congratulations at that. That's news to me. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
happy for you.
Yeah. I really didn't tell much people, but I was gonna tell people down the road. But yeah, I'm very excited and for everything. So.
For some of you who don't know Dan, we're getting a lot of new listeners and followers, which is really cool. So if this is your first time joining us, thank you. My name's Riley, one of the main hosts for this podcast, one of the original. And then Dan's been coming on since I started, and he kind of took over here this season as another co-host of mine. So yeah, Dan and I grew up together. We're both actually from Duluth, Minnesota. Grew up in the West Duluth area. We both are Denfeld grads. Big D was older than me, though. We grew up in the same neighborhood. I got to know Big D just from being in the neighborhood, playing a lot of sports, and then he was our student manager in high school for football. So Big D's always been around doing the athletics with us, and also he when I was a kid, his family used to always take me to the Minnesota Vikings training camps down in Mankato. So we've been big Vikings fans since we're little kids. DC, what year did you graduate again? 06?
06, yep.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It's gonna be my 20-year but yeah, it's gonna be my 20-year reunion this upcoming year. So
man, wow, that's crazy.
I just can't believe it's been 20 years since I've been out of school. It just feels like I just graduated a couple of years ago, man. But
no kidding.
That's what they always say. After you graduate from high school, it flies by, and it's true.
Yeah, definitely. I'm 32 now, going to be 33 here in April in a few months. So I graduated in 2011 from Duluth Denfeld. So yeah, so that's just a little bit about us. If you're listening for the first time, we really appreciate you joining and listening to episodes. So let's get into the end of the season there. We did our record predictions like midway through the season, and we were pretty off of what we thought we were going to be at that point. We were both kind of in the ballpark of, hopefully we can just, you had a little more wins than I did, but we both were kind of in the ballpark of just maybe losing out to get a better draft pick at that time. But, thinking back to that, I'm glad that they kept it going. They kind of kept the, riding the ship and ended up finishing 9-8 above 500. So that was nice. And like, from my perspective, not to see the players just give up and quit. I thought that showed a lot out of all the players and then the coaching staff as well. So big part of those reasons why we won a lot of those games was the defense and special teams played phenomenally. And you know what? I'm going to give him his roses. JJ McCarthy did look good during the Washington and Dallas Cowboys game. So I'm hoping, I'm a lot of people can come at me for a little bit on different social media thinking I'm bad mouthing JJ McCarthy, but I'm just I'm just saying the facts, He has a lot of growth still to come. He needs he needs to improve in a lot of areas, especially with his passing mechanics. Sometimes he can get a wide base, which will end up tilting his shoulders, which can relay or it can make him overthrow the football or sail over wide receivers' heads or pass catchers' heads. So, no, not saying he cannot that he's not going to take a step forward. We don't know that. Of course, we'll see what this offseason entails. But Big D knows I was always in the ballpark of JJ McCarthy just needing more time to develop. And I thought we kind of rushed him in when he wasn't really ready. I was a little worried about that. We put a lot into, we put all our chips kind of into him being ready. And we saw what happened during a lot of those games, and then just inconsistency of being able to stay healthy on the field is another big thing that, he can help a little bit, but he needs to stay healthy. Like, we need him if he wants to continue to develop. The injuries have really hindered his development big time. So, but it's going to be an interesting offseason, since, last time I had the episode 2, we talked about Kwesi's firing, and now KOC's kind of taking reins of different roster building things with the help of other staff as well. And then Rob Brzezinski is going to be doing the cap, doing more so like the salary cap stuff. And actually, I think they actually just brought in another guy to help him out with the cap space. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do going forward. They said that that won't be set until after the draft in April. So, but news keeps breaking that, a lot of people are really intrigued with the Minnesota Vikings spot. They have great facilities, good coaches, owners who put a lot of money into the team. They want to win. So it is a pretty heavy sought after spot for a general manager position. So we'll see what happens. But I'm excited having football guys make picks in the April draft. So that was one thing I was concerned is going into as we continued into the playoffs and we didn't fire Kwesi yet. I thought he wasn't going to be fired, and then they obviously had a change of heart a few weeks or 2 to 3 weeks after the season, which I was glad about. But yeah, so I'm a little more excited about the draft than I was, because he has made some nice picks, but he's also missed on a lot of guys. So then one more thing too, I just want to add to that is just how I kind of brought my faith back in the KOC a little bit. Like, when you hear all this breaking news, how KOC was telling Kwesi that JJ wasn't ready and he thought we needed a more legit quarterback that can push to start, like an Aaron Rodgers type quarterback. The interest was mutual there with him. He wanted to come here, and it kind of sounded like KOC, through all the rumors and all the news we're hearing now, that he was interested too, but it seemed like Kwesi kind of turned his cheek on that and just wanted to continue with the JJ McCarthy path. So, during the season, I'm just like thinking in my head, like, gosh dang, like, what is KOC seeing that tells me that he thinks he's ready? Because he's clearly not ready. The way he's dumbing down the offense in the beginning of the year, and just the overall performance early on. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts on that. It kind of gave me a little more faith in KOC again. But I do think we need to take a halt on calling him the quarterback whisperer, especially how Darnold has continued to be successful here in Seattle. So, speaking of Super Bowl, I'm rooting for the Seahawks tonight. Hopefully they win that game, and Sam Darnold can win a Super Bowl. So that'd be really cool for him.
Yeah, I'm going for Seattle too. I want Darnold to win that ring and everything. So I think it's gonna be a good game and everything. But yeah, I am. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I started saying, but I'm rooting for the Hawks. I usually don't look for the Hawks, but I'm going for them tonight.
Yeah, me too. So they're a cool football team.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. So, all All right, before we move on to my position rankings, we'll just kind of do a little recap here. So, some team grades based on PFF. They were 19th overall throughout all 32 NFL teams. Offensively, we're 26th rated. Defense 16th, and then special teams we were first. Points scored, we're at 344 points scored, which ranked 26th, and then we had points allowed as 333, which was ranked 7th. So I'm excited to have B-Flow back too, leading that defense, and we'll continue to see how the offseason goes with what we're going to be doing with different moves. There's going to be some guys who are probably going to be getting cut just to save some cap space, since we're needing to get we're over the cap right now, so we got to get back under that total. So that'll be interesting to see what happens. But all right, well, we're gonna move into my running back rankings. So I'm actually gonna go from the bottom up until the top. So my NFL draft running back rankings, these are some guys that I've just kind of noted that, didn't make my top 6, but they're guys that I want to say like they could be good and then quality backs here in the NFL. So, first one that comes to my mind is just Jaden Ott. He's a running back who was extremely productive in 2023, but really fell off in 2024, then completely fell off in 2025. So I think he could be a solid day 3 pick if teams can get him back to the production he had in 2023. He had 1,315 rushing yards, 12 touchdowns. He was first team all Pac-12 at Cal. And then in 2025, he transferred to Oklahoma for that season, and he just had 21 carries for 68 yards and for 0 touchdowns in 7 games played. So just really, really fell off. He did have some injuries and hasn't gone back to that 2023 form, but he could be a sleeper pick. He's shown that production when he is healthy. So I think injuries have knocked him a little bit, but just a guy to kind of think about on day 3 as a potential option, I would say, for different teams. Then he'll be 23 years old during his rookie season and will turn 24 in December. So he's still pretty young there. So my number 11 back here is Le'Veon Moss, running back out of Texas A&M. He finished a PFF rushing grade of 80.0, which was high quality in their rating scale. He's a guy that has some solid skills there in Texas A&M. The next guy, keep an eye out for, is Demon Claiborne from Wake Forest. He has a PFF rushing grade of 76.8, which is good on their scale. Justice Haynes, running back out of Michigan. He had an 83.5 rating, which is high quality. He had a really solid year for Michigan this year. Got to keep an eye on. Seth McGowan, running back out of Kentucky. He's coming in number 8 for me. He was 77.2 scale there. So number 7 for me is Mike Washington Jr., running back out of Arkansas. He had 84.3 high quality score of them. This is a guy that I've been seeing people having him at their number 2 spot, but he just missed the top 6 for me. So he could be a really solid player. He's kind of emerging as the draft process has gone on here. So yeah, those are some guys to keep an eye out for, but here's my top 6. So my number 6 running back is Katron Allen, running back out of Penn State. He's 5'11", 219 pounds, senior. He'll be 23 during his rookie season. He just turned 23 on January 8th. So Allen's a very physical type running back coming out of Penn State. He's the hammer of this draft class, in my opinion. He's leaving Penn State with 769 carries for 4,180 rushing yards, 39 touchdowns, with a 5.4 average yard per carry. He also had 70 career receptions for 480 yards and 4 receiving touchdowns. His best year rushing was in 2025, where he rushed for 1,303 yards on 210 carries with 15 rushing touchdowns. He finished the season with a 6.2 average yard per carry and made the first team All Big Ten team. So he's a really good prospect, I think, coming out of Penn State. He does have some limitations. Some strengths he has is his physicality. He's one of the more physical backs in this draft. If you watch his tape, he's consistently breaking tackles. He had 792 yards after contact in 2025, which is pretty impressive. He's reliable in pass pro, which is something these running backs need to be able to do if they want to be being a 3-down running back here in the NFL. So picking up blitzes is an important thing for the running back position. Vision and patience. He's a highly instinctive runner who excels at pressing the hole and letting his blocks develop. So he's kind of a one cut and go guy in both zone and gap schemes, blocking schemes. So, I think of a guy who, if you think, okay, what does that mean for letting his blocks develop? If you remember Le'Veon Bell, Big D, Le'Veon Bell would always kind of sit behind his backs and sit behind his blockers and pick the hole and once that hole opens. So he kind of has that patience kind of like that. So he's definitely more of a like I said, one cut and go, more down north and south runner though, which I like. I always say you got to go north and south. You don't want to go east and west all the time because that's when you can lose yards and things like that. So ball security, he only had one fumble across 559 carries in college, which is a pretty impressive as well. So just some areas to improve in his game. He doesn't have or just some area, maybe you can say areas weaknesses, because I don't know if he's ever going to continue to get faster. But one thing is he does lack a little home run speed. He can be caught from behind from faster defensive backs on longer runs. And then receiving ceiling, while he's a solid check down option, he's not been used extensively in the receiving game, but there's a guy that I'm going to talk about here in a little bit that was at Penn State too, that was kind of used more in that role. But yeah, I think he's going to be more of a late day 2, kind of early day 3 guy, maybe rounds 3, 4, I would say. So player comp for me, I think he kind of reminds me a little bit of Doug Martin. If anyone remembers him, he used to play for Tampa Bay. So Katron Allen, DC, you've seen him play before. What do you think about him?
Yeah, I think like you nailed it. It's a really solid halfback and um has good decent speed. Like you said, he um does get caught from behind for long distance runs, but he's a powerful runner
Mm-hmm.
and everything. So yeah, I think he's gonna be a late pick, like you said. Uh, uh, late day 2 or early
Maybe like a
day
mid
2. So
round,
yeah,
round 3,
like
round 4, probably.
yeah, around there. So yeah, whoever gets him, they're gonna get a solid back there.
Yeah, for sure. All right, the next guy coming in at number 5 is his teammate, Nicholas Singleton. So running back out of Penn State, as we just talked about Katron Allen being at Penn State. So Singleton is 6 foot, 224 pounds. He'll be 22 years old during his rookie season. He just turned 22 on January 6th. So he was in a dynamic timeshare at Penn State with Katron Allen. He was highly productive in his 4-year college career. So he's leading Penn State with 622 carries for 3,461 rushing yards, 45 rushing touchdowns, with a 5.6 average yards per carry. He also had 102 receptions during his career with 987 receiving yards for 9 receiving touchdowns. His 2 best statistical seasons were during his freshman and junior season. So sophomore and senior year here was kind of not his best years, but he's a guy who has a lot of talent in my mind. But he rushed for 1,000 yards in both those seasons. So he didn't rush for over 1,000 in his sophomore and in his senior season. But I also think he was a little banged up in both those years. So some strengths of him, he's got like he's definitely has like that NFL ready frame. He's got like a strong lower half. When we say that, he got strong, his legs are thick. He can absorb contact and finish runs forward. He has that elite speed and acceleration, so he does have that acceleration to make that house call, especially when he gets to the 3rd level, and he has a good rushing lane to hit. Contact balance, so once he's hit, he can usually stay up on his feet, so he averaged over 3.8 yards after contact in 2025. And then 3 down versatility, he's able to come out of the backfield running routes, or you can put him out in the slot or wherever you want to use him. He can run routes in the passing game as well. Then pass protection, um, he's actually a pretty solid pass protector. He's actually one of the better ones in this class. So he's definitely a 3-down back. So that's a nice trait to have. This is a guy that I think of the Vikings could potentially look at if they want to add a running back on day 2. I would imagine he's going to go. So areas to improve or just some weaknesses. At times he kind of lacks vision and patience, so he kind of gets a little impatient and kind of hits the holes too quick before they're even there. And then you can kind of miss cutback lanes as well. And then bouncing runs, like I said, I like guys who go north and south. At times he has tried to go east-west a little bit, which has led to lost yardage during his career. So for a player comp, for me, kind of reminds me a little bit of Nick Chubb, a little bit, like coming when he was at Georgia. So I can see that from him. And then, I definitely think he's gonna be like a late day 2, so probably like round 3, maybe early day 3, round 4, I would say. So for people that when I say day 1's first round pick, day 2 is second, third round pick, and then day 3 is 4th through 7th rounds are on day 3. So all right, so that's my 5th guy is Nick Singleton. Moving on to number 4. So my number 4 running back here is Emmett Johnson, running back, Emmett Johnson out of Nebraska, 5'11", 200 pounds. He was a junior redshirt this year at Nebraska. He turns 23 in October. So here's a kid, man, I'm liking here, but he is actually from Minnesota, and he played at the Academy of Holy Angels in high school. So he played 3 seasons for Nebraska, with his best statistical year being in his junior season. He had 251 carries for 1,451 rushing yards, 12 touchdowns, with a 5.8 average yard per carry. He also had 46 receptions out of the backfield for 370 yards and 3 touchdowns. He'll leave Nebraska with a total of 458 carries for 2,460 yards, 15 touchdowns, and a 5.4 average yards per carry. He also will leave with 92 catches for a total of 702 receiving yards and 5 receiving touchdowns. He won the Big Ten Running Back of the Year award, and he was a first-team All Big Ten All-American this season. Or he was on the first team All Big Ten team, I should say. Some strengths for him. So he has elite vision and patience. He really excels in zone blocking schemes, pressing line to freeze the linebackers before hitting the creases. He's slippery. He forced 68 missed tackles in 2025. He kind of has this like little double jump cut move to evade defenders. Ball security. He had 1 fumble over 251 carries during his junior redshirt season this past year. Then he has that pass catching ability that I like too. So 92 catches during his career at Nebraska. Some areas of weakness is just he doesn't lack, or he has kind of a little bit of a lack of elite speed. He might run in like the mid 4.5 or low 4.5 range. He only had one career, I think he only had one career touchdown that was a very long touchdown, which was 70 yards. So he kind of doesn't have that home run speed that we like to see, but he's a very solid running back in my opinion. He might not be a workhorse back, so this is someone that I'm kind of thinking of that would be like a nice 1-2 punch with like Jordan Mason if the Vikings looked at Emmett Johnson, bringing him to Minnesota, because we don't know, Aaron Jones could be potentially cut this offseason, so we'll see what happens there. But he's a guy that I'm kind of keeping my eye on in this draft process and seeing if he makes Vikings top 30 visit, because if he does, I'll be interested to see what they do, especially if they do move on from Aaron Jones. So hopefully Jones can maybe take a cap, or can kind of take a little friendly cap deal for us and kind of get that money down a little bit to come back. But with him too, it's hard to rely on him sometimes because he's hurt very often, So So yeah, he kind of reminds me of Tajay Spears, if anyone knows who that is. He's a running back out of Tennessee. He came from Tulane in college, so he kind of has those kind of similar traits, I would say. And then late day 2, early day 3, that's what I'm thinking right now as the draft process comes on. If he runs faster, he might move up more into like round 2 or something like that. So,
See how he does at the combine.
yep, exactly. So we got the combine coming up here. I wish they would move the combine around. Like, how cool would it be if they had that in Minnesota? I would go down there and check it out.
Oh, that'd be so cool. It gets kind of boring to have it in Indianapolis like every single year.
Right? Yeah, for sure.
They should move it for like different stadiums.
I agree completely. All right. My running back number 3 is Jonah Coleman, running back out of Washington. He's 5'9", 228 pounds. He'll be 23 during his rookie season. So Coleman originally started his college career at Arizona. So he was there in the 2022 season, then his 2023 season as well. So he transferred to Washington in 2024 to follow his head coach, Jed Fish, when he took the job there. Coleman's one of the more physical running backs in this draft class. In 2 years at Washington, he had 349 carries for 1,811 rushing yards, 25 rushing touchdowns with a 5.2 average yard per carry. He also had 54 receptions for 531 receiving yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. You know, if you're comparing him with Katron Allen's more of just like that extinct physical runner that doesn't have as much pass catching ability. To me, Coleman has that ability too. He's physical and he can also catch all the backfield, which I like a lot. So he's going to leave his college career with 552 carries for 3,054 rushing yards, 35 rushing touchdowns, and an average of 5.5 yards per carry. He also had 87 receptions for 838 receiving yards and 3 receiving touchdowns. Strengths, elite contact balance. Again, like I said, when he gets hit, he's able to remain upright. He averaged over 6 yards after carry or after contact. Vision patience. Again, he's a guy that demonstrates great vision. He's able to let the blocks develop and then hit the holes. He's a one cut type guy. Ball security. So he maintained 0 fumbles on his first 505 career touches, but then he did have 2 late in the 2025 season. So only 2 fumbles and that many carries is nice to have. You got to take care of the football at the running back position. So just some weaknesses. He is more of a physical guy than a game break and speed type player. And then pass pro consistency. He's pretty reliable blocker, but he does need to become better in the pass protection as well if he wants to be more of a 3-down running back. So player comp to me kind of reminds me a little bit of David Montgomery. And then I think he's going to go day 2 for sure. I think round 2 or 3. I'll be surprised if he falls at day 3. So that's where I have him. All right, DC, do you have a guess who my number 2 back is?
I think I do. Is that Price from Notre Dame?
Bingo, you got it. Yep. So we're gonna be talking about Jadarian Price next, running back out of my Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Go Irish. So he's 5'11", 210 pounds. Junior, turns 23 in October. So he was the number 2 back during his Notre Dame career, behind my number 1 back, who we'll talk about next. Price played in 3 seasons for the Irish. He finished his Notre Dame career with a total of 280 carries for 1,692 rushing yards, with 21 rushing touchdowns for an average yard per carry of 6.0. He also had 15 career receptions for 162 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also has experience returning kickoffs. He took 2 to the house in 2025 and 1 in 2024. So things I like about Price, some strengths, is limited wear and tear. Like he carried the ball. He didn't carry the ball a lot in college because he was behind my number 1 guy. Try not to say his name. But so that's one thing I like. He has that limited wear and tear. He has that impressive production of 6 yards per carry with the carries he had. So he had let's see. Yeah, so 280 carries with that 6.0 yards per carry is something that I like there. elite explosiveness. You talk about a guy that can score from anywhere on the field. He had multiple 50-yard scores in his career. So you get him the ball, if there's a lane and he takes off, man, he's pretty explosive. Areas improve or weakness. He does need to a little more refinement pass pro, just picking up blitz recognition, and then some ball security. He did have 3 fumbles in 2025, over 113 carries. So definitely needs to take care of that. He kind of reminds me a little of Alvin Kamara and then Raheem Mostert in terms of like explosiveness, I would say. Just how explosive those players are. He reminds me of them a little bit. I think he's going to go day 2. So if he does not go day 2, I would be completely shocked and wondering what the heck everyone's doing. But yeah, he's a fun player. Like I said, this is a guy that I would love for him to be on the Vikes if possible, if we could get him there.
Yeah,
But
that'd be really cool.
so the number 1 player here, if you've been following the college football season the last couple of years, you probably know who this is already, especially if you realize that my last 2 are Notre Dame players here. So number 1 is Jeremiah Love, 6 foot, 214 pounds. He'll be 21 during his rookie season. So he won the Doak Walker Award in 2025 for being the best running back in college. He's also a Heisman Trophy finalist during this past season. He rushed for 1,372 yards on 199 carries with a 6.9 average yard per carry. He had a total of 18 rushing touchdowns this past season. Then he can also do as a pass catcher. He had 27 receptions for 280 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's leaving college with 433 carries for 2,874 rushing yards, 36 rushing touchdowns, with an average of 6.4 yards per carry, including his freshman year. He's primarily a starter during his sophomore and then junior seasons. 62 catches for 593 yards and 6 receiving touchdowns. So strengths, elite home run breaking speed. He's a home run threat with game-breaking playability. He can take it to the house anytime. He has excellent elite vision and patience, especially in zone schemes, allowing his blocks to develop before using that one cut to get upfield. He's also reliable with the football. He only had 1 fumble in his college career or 433 carries, so he does not put the ball on the ground very often. Areas to improve, just like anyone else, he can kind of improve in pass pro. That's a very common thing for running backs coming out from college. And then one thing too is just adding some more mass to his frame. He is a little thinner, so just maybe bulking up a little more, as long as that doesn't ruin his speed. And then staying disciplined in his rushing moves. Like, he will tend to leave his feet often. I just don't want him to get hurt in the NFL if he's leaving and gonna get taken out, flipped on his head or something, you know. So that's one thing. I don't want to see him get hurt. And then my player comp for him, he reminds me a lot of Jahmyr Gibbs. Just watching Jahmyr Gibbs, just that explosiveness, he can do it all. One of the best backs in NFL. So I think Love's a top 15 pick. He's actually my number 1 overall player in this draft. So there's 2 guys that I think are kind of like up there, number 1 and 2, that are both not probably going to go in the top 5 just because of positional value. And Love is one of those players. Caleb Downs, safety at Ohio State's the other guy for me. So those guys are number 1 and 2 for me in my position, or not my overall draft rankings. I think they're both very, very phenomenal players, sure things. So I just hope Love doesn't get to if he gets to, I think, like the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs are going to take him, and I would hate that. He would be my dream pick if he fell to 18. I don't think it's going to happen. We've seen crazy things happen in the NFL, but I just think he's too talented to drop that far. So
I want him to. Like I told you this many times. I want Love in Minnesota, but
yeah, for sure.
I don't think he won't. I don't think he will make it to 18. I just have that itch that he will go to the Chiefs and everything, and I really don't want that.
I can see the Chiefs or the Saints. The Saints picked before the Chiefs, I think, at 8 or 9. I think that's kind of where he could start. You know, he could. I would not be surprised if someone took him in the top 5 though. But I don't think it's gonna happen.
I'd rather see him with the Saints than the Chiefs.
Yeah, As much as I hate the Saints,
Yeah.
I more so hate Sean Payton.
Yeah. who
You know what I mean?
who doesn't like Sean Payton?
So I know you're a big fan of him. You got socks of him. You got him on your boxers and whatnot. You got a tattoo on your leg of him. So
Yeah.
I just can't believe that, man. Like after what he did to us, but I guess you can forgive more than I can.
Oh no. Oh no.
You even got Sean Payton. You got SP in your beard. Like it's like shaved in the side of your beard right now.
Yeah,
What the heck's
I
going
got a
on,
big
D?
I got a big old fat head of him right on my wall too.
And I bet you dream about him every night, don't you?
Oh yeah, he's my dream coach.
So that is my top 6 running backs. I'll just restate them again. So Jeremiah Love's my number 1. Number 2, Darian Price. Number 3, Jonah Coleman. Number 4, Emmett Johnson. Number 5, Nicholas Singleton. Number 6, Katron Allen. So that's my top 6. Number 7, Mike Washington Jr. Number 8, Seth McGowan. Number 9, Justice Haynes. Number 10, Demon Claiborne, and number 11, Le'Veon Moss. So those are my running back ranks, D.
I like him.
But we are going to move forward, and we're going to do a mock draft sim here. Okay.
Right.
I've done plenty of these, so I think we should do this together.
This will be my first one.
So I'm gonna share my screen with you. Okay. Okay. So right now the Vikes are picking 18th in the first round. We'll see what happens. You know, there are rumors out there that if they don't bring a veteran quarterback in, I'll be like, what are we doing? So I expect us to kind of bring a vet in. If it's through free agency or a trade, there's, you can't believe everything you read on the internet, obviously.
Yeah.
Right? But there's just all these things being flown around all the time. And at one point I saw something, it was like Joe Burrow, the Vikings are going to try to go heavily at him. If we can find a way to get Joe Burrow, in my opinion, he's one of the top quarterbacks in the league. You get one of those top guys in the league, you have a shot every single year to win. You know what I mean? So if it takes like giving up a couple first round picks and whatnot, but I do think we're probably more going to go the free agency route. If it's like Kirk Cousins or something, bring him back just to kind of be here to help out. You know, you can start if we need to. It doesn't really excite me too much, right? There's just not a lot of options out there. Derek Carr, he was off this season. He wants to come out of retirement for the right team. So I would be kind of intrigued with Derek Carr. Not going to lie, he's a solid quarterback. I like those guys better than trading for Tua or Kyler Murray, who has huge cap hits, you know. So if we're going to trade for one, my guys, go get Joe Burrow for sure. But if I don't want us to trade for Tua or Kyler Murray at those huge cap hits.
No.
But if like we're going to go free agency route, I would take Cousins back. My number one guy though in free agency, I don't know if he's going to go back to Pittsburgh or whatnot, is Aaron Rodgers. That'd be sick. You know, but they're both not like, I can hear people saying right now, like, no. And I understand. There's just not a lot of options out there. So, all right. You can see the screen.
Yeah.
All right. So we're just going to let this fly. Okay. So I'm going to hit start here and it's going to go right to pick 18. So Big D, running back, center, defensive back, our needs. So Jeremiah Love did go number 8 to the Saints in this mock sim. McCoy, cornerback, Jared McCoy, and then Avion Terrell and Delane all went in the top 17. So to me, DC, like you're looking at the value right here. There's not a running back here. There's not a center here. Okay, so in my mind, like what I think we should do in this situation is trade back. No, I'm just joking.
Get Ty Simpson.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna kick you off this podcast right now if you say that again. No, I think one thing we need to improve is our interior defensive line, because we have Jonathan Allen, who's got like a $22 million cap hit this year. Hargrave, who I think is probably going to cut. So if we can improve our interior, our D line, hopefully we can get Redmond back. I expect them to be back. But I'm looking at Caleb Banks out of Florida. So Caleb Banks, he was injured this past season, but he really he was a bright spot at the Senior Bowl. He did well there. He really needed to. I'm just looking at his 2024 season. He had 4 sacks from the interior, 21 hurries. He's a pretty stout guy. He's 6'6", 330 pounds. So I think, I would like for us to shore up that interior of the defense line still. Get some pass rush up the middle and help in the run game as well. So I'd look at Caleb Banks or like Caden McDonald out of Ohio State, who had a very, very productive season. He had a 91.2 grade, which is elite on PFF scale. He only had 2 sacks, 12 hurries. So he's not that, he's not as great as in the pass game. It doesn't mean that he can't develop that, right? Like, we pick players also wanting to develop. But if you're looking for a guy that is pretty solid in the run defense and then also has that ability to create havoc in the interior of the defense line and crush pockets or collapse pockets, Caleb Banks is there. So those are 2 guys I'm just going to say. I'm going to kind of let you do this one, though. What do you think?
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Caleb Banks.
Sounds good.
I trust your instincts.
Alrighty. So we're on Caleb Banks in the first round. All right, so we're going here at another guy that I think too is this Lee Hunter. He's definitely going to go first round. PFF has him way lower. He's in my top 32. So this is another guy. He is really, really good here at Texas A&M this past season. And he's huge, and he just has crazy athletic ability for how big he is. He's 6'4", 330. He can move like no other, man. It's crazy. All right, so we just took defensive tackle. Now, there's one. Do you want to alternate picks like you do one, I do one?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm looking at the board here. We have Eli Stowers, tight end, Keontae Scott, cornerback, Romello Height, edge defender out of Texas Tech. There is rumor that B-Flow is going to be trying to get another edge rusher in the first round, it sounded like, from what I'm hearing. This kid here, D'Angelo Pons, to me, if he was like 5'11", he's 5'9", he'd be a first round pick. If he was 2 inches taller, he would be a first round pick. This kid is a football player, man. Like, I was super impressed anytime I turned on Indiana. He was always like, look at that grade in the championship game. Performed at a high level, 85 grade. Like, that's right up there. His coverage grade is 89.5. Defense run game is 86.0. Zone coverage is 84.6. That's one thing, though, is B-Flow primarily runs man coverage on the outsides. You know what I mean? But I think this kid can go in the slot if we want him to. Most likely, Just looking at him, though, he did primarily play on the outside.
I'll be happy with that pick.
In college, though. But he reminds me of Antoine Winfield a little bit. Just his ability to evade defenders and tackle guys low. That's who he reminds me of, honestly, is Antoine Winfield. So I think we can shore up the DB room, and I would be really excited adding his talent. So I'm going to take him. D'Angelo Pons. He'd be a nice little piece for B-Flow's defense.
Yeah, I'd be happy.
So we have 2 defensive guys so far.
Yeah, I like him.
So we're in the third round, pick 82. Oh, there's a guy I just talked about, Big D, Emmett Johnson there. Keep going. Dunker. I think he's probably going to go a lot higher than this, but there's a center here, Sam Height. It's a solid player.
We can get Carson back.
No, thank you.
No. What
are you thinking here? So running back still a need, center still a need. To me, I think center's more of a need than running back right now, my opinion. But this is your pick.
You know what? I am.
If you want me to go to a certain position, I can.
I am going to pick for round 3. I'm gonna go with Emmett Johnson. I want a Minnesota boy. I want Minnesota to go to Minnesota.
Worked out perfectly because this is a guy I was hoping you could maybe take. Sam Hite out of Kansas State. So 0 sacks allowed in his career. That's impressive.
Very.
1 quarterback hit allowed only, DC. Like, he's allowed 7 hurries in 2025, 11 in 2024, and 1 in 2023. 2 years, so he started the last in 2024 and 2025. Run block grade, zone grade, pass block grade. Like, this is a guy that I think would be solid. 6'4", 300. So he's a little on the smaller side. There's a kid that I'm going to talk about in my offensive line, and that's Logan Jones. I really like him out of Iowa, but he's going to be like 25, 26 as a rookie. But he was one of the best. He won the best center in college this past season. But I think we need to shore up that spot. So I'm going to take Sam Hite out of Kansas State.
I will be cut Kelly and draft Heights. I'll be happy with that.
Yeah. Well, maybe he might just flat out retire too. We don't know what's going to happen with that.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a running back. We have a center. We got DB. Now here's our board. Drew Aller, guard Jaden Roberts. What other positions are you thinking here? Oh, Logan Jones is right there.
Well, we can't go 2 centers.
Unless you think you can move one to
that
guard
Rodriguez
or just
guy
have
from
his
Texas
backup.
Tech if he hasn't got drafted yet.
Yeah, he's gone. This kid, Bishop Fitzgerald, safety. You might need a safety.
Well, let's get him.
Yeah, I like this. Look at 90.7 overall grade.
Because we just don't know what's going on with Hitman. So
he had 400. He had 400 tackles. He had 49 tackles this past season. Yeah, let's take him. So we're taking Bishop Fitzgerald, safety, out of USC in round 5. So now here's, when we get to these rounds, these are just kind of dart throw rounds here mostly. These are guys you want to try to get that can develop. Hey, this kid had production, though. Like, he produced this past season, so I like that. Okay, we're loading here. I don't know what's going on. It is being slow, so let's see what happens. There it goes. It is like that pick too much, I guess. All right. 195. We're in the 6th round now. Just looking at some guys here. I do like this tight end out of Texas A&M. He's more kind of a blocking guy, but we could always use more of that. We don't know what's going to be happening with TJ Hawkinson. This kid has a developmental kind of tackle for us. I like that as O'Neill's getting up there. So I think I'm going to take him. I'm going to take Nolan. I think his name's pronounced Rucci. So he's 6'8", 304 pounds coming out of Penn State. So I'm going to take him.
It's a big boy.
At the tackle. And then we're back on the pick. We're back on the clock here at 197. So we have basically right there in 6th round, we have 195, then it drops to 197. We're back on the clock. This is a kid too I like a lot. This tight end out of Utah. 13 games this past season, 48 catches, 620 yards for 6 touchdowns. That's pretty stout. That's pretty nice for a tight end. He is more so of a, so he doesn't, his run blocking grade, he needs to improve in the run game. If I can go back to the board here too for you.
Let's go with that tight end for Texas A&M.
All right. Nate Borkicher, I think is how it's spelled or pronounced. So 6'4", 250. We'll be taking him. I like that pick. Yeah, more of a run blocker. He had 19 catches this year for 198. He did break my heart versus I think he had the game-winning touchdown versus us for Notre Dame. First Notre Dame beginning of the season or the second game of the year. Okay, we're going to go. So then we're back up on the clock in 6th round, 202. Man, we have so many 6th round picks here. So let's see here. Just looking at the Looking at the draft board, looking at some players. This guy's kind of like he's got some nice traits. Pretty quick on the defensive line. It's more kind of like that dart throw though, D, right?
Yeah.
Do we take a quarterback for kind of like develop a little bit? Another guy just to have.
Mm.
Let's see here.
How about Cole Payton?
Kid from North Dakota State.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think he's gonna still be there when we're coming up. So I'm kind of looking here. I like I'm gonna go another defensive lineman, Rayshawn Benny out of Michigan. So 6'4", 305. He had 2 sacks this past year. Let's see, 3 quarterback hits, 13 hurries. So another guy has got solid run defense grade. So guy we can put out there maybe in some early downs to help out the run. All right, we're going down the 7th round now. So we got 2 picks left, 234 and 240. So do you want to take Cole Payton?
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
Okay. So we're taking quarterback on NDSU, Cole Payton, 6'3", 233. This past year at NDSU, he had 2,719 yards. Looks like he had 16 touchdowns, 4 picks, passer rating of 127.8. Yeah, so he's had solid grades at the FCS level. So we'll take him in the 7th round. These are kind of like flyers. And then with here we are, DC, with the retirement of CJ. We now have a fullback need. What a career he had too, man. Just congratulations to CJ. It was phenomenal watching him throughout his whole career. All the way from Duluth Junior League football to Denfeld to Augustana to the Vikings tryout, and the whole Vikings whole career just phenomenal. Couldn't happen to a better person.
Oh yeah, it's so many stories about him like that thing, and it was unbelievable watching him just grow and everything, and with his speeches and everything he did, it was very emotional. I teared up a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Same.
You played with him in junior league, me and managing him for 2 years for Denfeld.
Well, I played with him at Denfeld.
Oh yeah, and Denfeld, yeah. And it was very emotional and all that stuff, and he's gonna be truly missed. But I'm glad that he made the decision because he wants to be there for his kids and wants to be a soccer dad and everything. So I'm very proud of him.
All right, so we're going back to the last pick here. It's kind of just a flyer pick, but you know what? I'm thinking I liked what I saw out of this kid in the championship game. Plus, he has a pretty cool name. So Riley Nowakowski out of Indiana, 6'2", 249, tight end. He can kind of be used as like a fullback type H-back role too, so I like that. All right, let's see what our overall grade was here. So not bad. B+, top 57. I think this pick, that was actually wrong. They didn't like the D tackle here at 6th round, but that's okay. A- for the tight end out of Texas A&M. B+ for the USC safety. A- for Sam, the center, Sam Height, Kansas. A- for Emmett Johnson. They give us a B+ for Banks and D'Angelo Pons there in the first 2 picks. So, yeah. Overall, not bad, DC. Not too bad. So that was fun.
No, I like it.
But, all right. Well, just looking at the time now, holy cow, we've been on here for a while. That's funny. It's going to take me a while to edit this out, but it'll be all good. Yeah, so
it's been a while. It's been a while, so.
Yeah, we had a lot to talk about. So,
oh yeah.
Well, I really appreciate everyone for, continuing to support the podcast. And if you made it this far listening to us, just keep coming back. We're going to continue to do position rankings over the draft process here and then conduct some first round mocks. And then once the draft does come, we'll do a little, some episodes to recap the draft. And we'll see what, may do a couple during the summer. Usually we take the summer months off until we head back into the football season there in August. But we'll probably do a late. We'll probably do an episode like mid-July or something to just kind of go over kind of training camp starting. But yeah, so just we really appreciate the support and thank you for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Go Vikes.
Thank you for listening to our episode. Be sure to give us a follow on Instagram and X at Naptime Sports Talk Podcast for content related to the pod. Thank you for the support.